Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Wahiga. If you're new here, I hope that you stick around and take a listen to what I have to share. Today, I want to talk about the word alcoholism and why it is so stigmatized. Before I get into that topic, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Please share this video. I really want this video to get to as many people as possible. Thank you. This word alcoholic has been tainted. And I believe the word alcoholic has been tainted by most non-alcoholics. Non-alcoholics look at the word alcoholic and judge an alcoholic without really fully knowing what the word really means, who an alcoholic actually is. I am Wahiga. I am an alcoholic in recovery. I've been sober by the grace of God for the past 5 years, going to 8 months. I call myself a recovering alcoholic because that's who I am. In my flesh is the disease of alcoholism. Alcoholism is a disease. It's a disease of the mind, it's a disease of the body, and it's a spiritual disease. It's a disease of the soul. It's a disease physically where I became dependent on alcohol. I developed an allergic reaction to alcohol. When I started drinking alcohol, I could not stop for the life of me. And then I also developed this thing where I had an obsession of the mind. So even when I did stop drinking, I was constantly thinking about it, constantly obsessing about it, constantly. It's all I thought about. When I wasn't drinking, I was thinking of ways to look for money to drink. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the disease of alcoholism. It is a threefold disease: spiritually, mentally, physical, all-encompassing disease. And alcoholism is just that. It's a disease. Does it have a cure? No, it does not. But it can be managed. It can be managed by abstinence. It can be managed by a spiritual program. It can be managed by finding God. Finding God and having God remove the relentless obsession to drink, the compulsivity to drink. That is who has the power to remove the cravings and the obsession to drink from us, and also from a 12-step program. That is where I got my help to get sober from. If you are an alcoholic and you need help, get onto Google right now, go search 12-step program in your country, wherever you are, and look for a meeting right now. Go to a meeting right now, 12-step program, and get into a meeting right now. But what I'm seeing, especially with non-alcoholic people, they're using this word alcoholic and judging us and using it to point fingers at us alcoholics like we're awful people. Yes, granted, alcoholics do absolutely abhorrent things. When we are in the throes of drinking, we do horrific things. But don't use and abuse and misuse the word alcoholic and prevent people from getting help. Because when you start misusing the word alcoholic, a lot of people, a lot of newcomers that I am working with, a lot of people who may think that they have a drinking problem don't want to associate themselves with being an alcoholic because of the stigma attached to it. And actually, the irony is this: it's in calling myself an alcoholic that I actually got sober. It's in realizing the truth that I was an alcoholic, that I was set free and finally separated from drinking. It's in realizing that I had lost power and the party had been long finished with alcohol that I finally came to realize I was an alcoholic. And that's how I got sober. That's when I got sober. So denying a person the ability to call themselves an alcoholic because the non-alcoholic community feels that they know what an alcoholic is, and therefore an alcoholic is a bad thing, and therefore we must label alcoholics as bad people. It's a really bad thing to do. I get this a lot from the Christian community. You know, where I live in Kenya, we have a huge community that is Christian. 70% of the community is Christian. I identify as a Christian. I mean, I am a Christian. But you'll get certain people who tell you, don't call yourself an alcoholic. You're not an alcoholic anymore. You're renewed in Christ. Oh, but I am. I'm renewed in Christ, and I'm also a new creation, and I'm also an alcoholic. I know who I am. And it's through Jesus, it's through God, it's through a higher power that I've been able to stay sober these 5 years and 8 months. But it's not by denying who I am. It's by embracing who I am. So my name is Wahiga and I'm an alcoholic. A grateful alcoholic. Grateful because I finally know who I am. You see, all those years when I was trying to control my drinking, I denied myself the fact that I actually was an alcoholic. People used to make fun of me when I would drink and pass out and fall down. They used to make fun of me and laugh and say, this chick is just an alcoholic. Leave her alone. She's just an alcoholic. And I would run away from that stigma. I would run away from that name. An alcoholic. Diss me about anything. Say I'm this, say I'm that. But don't call me an alcoholic. I don't know why that's the most insulting, stigmatized word that you can use on a person today. But I really ran away from that label. And the more I drank, the more people called me an alcoholic. I denied it. I said absolutely not. I'm not an alcoholic. I found myself going to 12-step meetings. I found myself with other recovering alcoholics. And I still denied that I was an alcoholic. But it's finally on the 1st of July, 2017, when I had my last bout with alcohol. I drank like I'd never drunk before. And I drank with now the knowledge and the understanding that I was an alcoholic. I couldn't stop when I wanted to stop. The drinking was only fun for about 20 minutes. And after that, it was horrific. I became emotional. I became overwhelmed. I was full of guilt and shame. The 4.5 months I had worked towards sobriety, and I had been sober for, all gone. And the next day when I came to, because when we're drinking as alcoholics, our days swim into each other. We don't wake up and sleep like normal people. We come to. So when I came to and I looked at myself in the mirror, the devil was telling me one thing. And that was, look at you. Why are you lying to yourself, lying to your parents, lying to everyone that you have changed? You will never change, Wahiga. This is who you are. You drink and you drink and you will drink. And the other part of me said, but did you really give that program a chance? That 12-step place, did you really give it a chance? Did you do everything they told you to do? I said, no, I didn't do everything they told me to do. All the suggestions they gave me, I didn't take any of their suggestions. In fact, I fought them from the beginning. And by denying myself the very word that I actually am, an alcoholic, I was denying myself freedom and sobriety. There is power when you admit to your innermost self who you are. When you admit that you are powerless over alcohol and your life is unmanageable. When you say, I'm done. Here I'm done. I'm an alcoholic. I can't do it anymore. I have tried. It hasn't worked. This thing is my master. This thing has me. And I don't know what to do anymore. There is a peace that comes over you. And there's a peace that came over me the day I finally admitted to myself that I was an alcoholic. I didn't need anyone to tell me anymore. All those people who used to diss me in bars and everything, it didn't matter. Now I knew the truth for myself. Yes, my name is Wahiga and I am an alcoholic. And why am I a grateful alcoholic? Because from the day that I said and admitted that I was an alcoholic is the day that I was separated from it. That's the irony about defeat. That's the irony. There is strength in falling down. There is strength in surrender. There is strength in giving up. There is power in surrendering. When I realized I knew nothing, that's when this door of sobriety was opened to me. That's when this life of sobriety was opened up to me. And my life has not been the same ever since. So I'm only going to address this once, here, and for all. Stop stigmatizing the word alcoholic. Alcoholics are brilliant people, extremely brilliant. Most of us are good people. Some of us are bad people. But being an alcoholic is not a big deal. It is simply admitting that we have lost the control over alcohol. And that we can no longer drink like normal people. Stop adding any more tags and weird things onto alcoholism, because you're preventing people from getting sober. People are scared to call themselves alcoholics and get the help that they desperately need, all because they're scared to call themselves an alcoholic. What a damn shame. So non-alcoholic, if you don't know what alcoholism is, please don't go around throwing that name alcoholic loosely. You don't know who you're affecting. The person next to you might be an alcoholic, and they may be scared to go and reach out for help because of that stigma attached to that word alcoholic. Don't do that. An alcoholic is simply a person who has lost control over their drinking. They no longer can control it. It's a disease and it's fatal. Oh yes, it's absolutely fatal. And alcoholism is progressive. Whether drunk or sober, it is progressive. It gets worse with time and age. So please be kind. And if you're an alcoholic watching this video, I hope that you're sober. If you're not, please reach out for help. Until the next video, guys. Oh yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Please. It will really do me a huge favor so that we can get this video views. Thank you.